All right, my name is Pierce Dewar. Thank you all for coming out. Hope you enjoy, and let's go ahead and get started. So, last week we started standing. Today, let's start seated. So any comfortable seated position. If you're just getting here, settling in, take your time. Don't rush. Everything's okay. All right, let's go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Feel free to relax your hands on your wrists and the thighs, knees, your lap, wherever's comfortable for you. Feel free to close the eyes. And then let's take 3 breaths in the nose and out the mouth. Feel free to sigh, make a little sound, and as you exhale, relax the shoulders, your jaw, and your neck. And take 2 more breaths like that. Breathing in, sitting up a little bit taller. Exhale, sinking into your body. 1 more. And then just go ahead and allow the mouth to close, but keep the jaw relaxed. Grow your spine a little bit taller from the base of your sitting bones all the way up through the back of the neck, and then feel the crown of the head reaching up for the speakers and the sky above you. And let's take these next few moments for stillness, observation. Just become more aware of how it feels to be in your vessel, your vehicle, your body today at this time. Tuning into sensations. And really just starting to make aware with your mind whatever's going on in your body today. Great, and then let's go ahead and join the palms together in front of the heart and see that as a reminder to gently lift the rib cage and bow the chin inwards toward yourself. I'll go ahead and chant the sound of Om 1 time. Feel free to listen or join in. Take a breath in. Great, and let's go ahead and relax the hands down, open up the eyes, and now let's stretch your legs out forward. Support with your hands back behind you, and have your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Now let's start to make some big circles with both ankles in the same direction. Start to wake up the feet, the toes, the shins, the calves. Some of you are going 90 miles an hour. Slow down. Try to make the biggest comfortable circle and then go in the opposite direction. And how can you bring as much attention to this, which may seem mundane and simple, as if you were doing something really challenging? A couple more times in this direction. And then go ahead and point the feet forward, curl the feet back like you're waving a few times. Great, and then now staying seated, just bend your knees and bring your feet even wider. Stay supported on your hands. Keep your knees bent 90 degrees this whole time. We'll take a breath in, sit up nice and tall, and then as you exhale, slowly drop the knees over towards your right. So the inner left knee comes down. Lift your left knee up. Get a little stretch in the inner legs, and then exhale over towards the other side. And start to move like that with your breath. So as you inhale, bring one leg up. Try to create a little stretch. And as you exhale, transition over towards the other side. Good, a couple more times each side. Great, and then after you've done both sides, an even amount of times, come to the center. And now let's come up into a kneeling position. You can be on your knees. You can sit back with the toes curled under. If neither of those work, you can sit back on your heels or just sit cross-legged. Wherever you're at, let's bring your fingertips to the shoulders. Start to make some big circles with the elbows so that we're rotating the shoulder joint. Start to feel things around your upper chest, your upper back, tops of the shoulders, armpits, sides of the chest. You can breathe deeply here. Only you can do that for yourself, so feel free to breathe deeply. Good, a couple more times, maybe a little bit bigger circle, and then go in the opposite direction whenever you feel called to. And if you're sitting with your toes curled under, sit back on your heels, reach your arms down for the ground. You can either have fists or reach with your fingertips so you're actively pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Now as you inhale, lift the chin, take the gaze up. Might have to close the eyes, it's pretty bright. And then as you exhale, lower the chin, look down. Try 3 or 4 more like that. Inhale to take the gaze up. And exhale to take the gaze down. And then come to neutral and now look towards your right. Back to the center, look left. Go back and forth a couple more times. Just feeling things out. Again, observing not just the neck, but feeling the base of the skull, tops of the shoulders, the upper back. And then after you've done both sides an even amount, come back to the center, now tilting the head side to side, stretching the lateral or side neck. And when you're going to one side, keep the opposite shoulder down. Good breathing here. You can hold for as long or as short as you like, couple more times. Keep pulling the shoulders down, keep the chest lifting up, tall spine. Good. And then after you've done both sides, even amount there, come back to the center now, a neck circle. So start by dropping your chin down towards your chest and then rotate and turn towards your right. Then side bend towards your right, then lift the chin, stretch the throat, rotate and side bend to the left, and then roll back down. Do 2 more like that. The biggest, most comfortable, pain-free rotation for you. 1 more. And I mentioned pain-free because we don't want to move into any sort of pinchy area. And then go in the opposite direction, 3 big circles. Like you're drawing a circle with your chin in space. Good, last one. Great, and then now let's come onto the hands and knees and do a few rounds of the cat-cow. Wrist creases directly underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and let's start in extension or like the back bend shape. So arch the lower back, feel your pelvis tipping forward, take the gaze forward, squeeze your elbow straight, even try to point the elbow pits forward. Breath in here, and then as you exhale, tuck the tailbone and round your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, and lastly, chin in towards chest. And then repeat. Start at the low back, so tilt the pelvis forward, arch your lower, middle, upper back, and lastly, chin lifts away from chest. And then keep moving like that. Tuck the tailbone, round from your lower spine to your upper spine. And then go in reverse. Pelvis tilts forward. Think of like you're doing a wave-like motion from the tip of the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. And then the next time you come back to that starting position with your gazing forward and you feel that arch in the low back, now we'll go in reverse. Start from the top. So drop your chin down. Now press your upper back up towards the sky, your middle back, your lower back, then tuck the tailbone. Keep your tailbone tucked once you're in that full flexion. Now lift your head and neck. Drop your upper chest, your middle chest, your lower chest, and your lower back. Head down, press your upper back, middle back, lower back. So now the wave-like motion's coming from the top of the body, back down. Go ahead and do that 1 or 2 more times. And if you haven't done this one before, it might feel a little strange, but good to go in both directions. And then once you come back to neutral, now send your hips back towards child's pose. Hips back towards your heels. Forehead towards the ground. You can support your head with the hands. Good, breathe deeply here. Feel free to breathe just like we did in the very beginning. In the nose, out the mouth. Good, 1 more breath here. And then now stretch your arms forward, come back up into all fours. Take a breath in here, lift your chest, look forward. Now tuck your toes, keep your knees bent, and lift your hips for downward facing dog. We're gonna keep moving with the breath now. From downward dog, inhale forward to plank pose, or you can always lower the knees down. And then exhale back towards child's pose. Do that a couple more times. Inhale up, table pose, lift the chest, look forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank or hands and knee pose. And then exhale back to child's pose. Try 2 more like that. Inhaling up, table pose. And then every exhale, alternate between downward facing dog and child's pose. Modify as needed. Good, and then this next time you're in a downward facing dog, we'll meet and stay there. Once you're in down dog, feel free to pedal out the feet a few times. So bending one knee, pressing the opposite heel and sole of the foot down, switching, or you can make some circles, whatever feels natural or intuitive. And remember to breathe here. Spread your fingers in your palms, relax the head and neck. Good, one more breath here. And then now let's shift forward back to that plank pose and then lower all the way down to the ground. And then once you're down, let's turn your head towards the right, reach your arms back alongside you with the palms facing up. We'll do what they call a half locust pose. So exhale here, and then now as you inhale, lift your chest, sweep your right arm forward and lift your left leg. Good. Exhale, look left and sweep the arm back, lower the left leg. Good, opposite side, inhale, lift the chest, sweep your left arm forward, lift your right leg. Exhale, look right, lower back down. Good, repeat, inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale, reach the right arm back, turn your head to the left. Inhale, left arm and the right leg. Good, and exhale, reach back, lower back down. Try one more time each side. Try to breathe in the whole length of the movement and breathe out the whole length of the movement. Last cycle like this, left arm, right leg. Great, and then now let's slide up onto your forearms for Sphinx pose. So elbows just a little bit in front of the shoulders. And sometimes it can be nice to introduce a little bit of rocking motion, so shaking your hips side to side. Notice if you're clenching around the glutes or the low back, see if you can relax or release some of that tension. Press down through the elbows, lift up through the chest, and breathe here. Great, and then widen the elbows, lower the chest back down. Place the hands now just outside your upper chest. Hug your elbows in, squeeze your legs straight. We'll move towards a push-up or table pose. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out, either plank or the push-up pose or table pose. Take 3 breaths wherever you're at. Firm the belly, try to point your tailbone down towards your heels. Good, and then downward facing dog. Now from down dog, lift your right leg up, bend your right knee, and make 3 big slow motion forward circles like you're painting a circle with your right knee in the sky. Go a little bit slower than you want to, and then go in reverse, 3 big backward circles. Great job, last one. And on this last one, lift your right leg up nice and high, take a deep breath in, press down through your hands, and then as you exhale, step the right foot forward into a lunge. From here, feel free to lower the left knee down. On your left hand, bring some weight there. Reach your right arm up. Good, and now make 3 big forward circles with the arm. So rotating the shoulder. Good, and then 3 big backward circles like you're doing the backstroke. Open up the chest, feel the muscles in the upper back. And after 3 big backwards circles, reach that arm up, turn your rib cage, maybe even your gaze and your head and neck up to look up towards that hand. Good, make sure you're breathing, make sure you're not holding the breath. Relax your jaw. Last few breaths, feel free to stay here, or we can try side plank variation where we'll rock into the outer edge of the left foot. You can step your right foot back halfway or stack both feet. Good, wherever you're at, remember to breathe. Great, and then back to the regular plank or hands and knees like a long table pose. Inhale here, exhale, elbows back, chest forward, slowly lower down. Now flatten the feet and inhale for cobra pose. So just use the strength of your low back first, then press your hands down, curl up a little bit more, and then press back through table pose or a push-up and return into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Great, and then now we'll complete that sequence on the other side. Lift your left leg up, bend your knee, and keep it bent the whole time as you do 3 big forward circles, rotating the thigh and the hip joint. Again, try to go a little slower than you want to. This is why you attend classes, because you get challenged a little bit and then go in the opposite direction, because if you're at home, you would never challenge yourself as much. Last one. And then lift the left leg up, take a deep breath in here, and then now step or lunge that foot forward. Feel free to lower the right knee down now. So weight is on your right hand. We're gonna reach the left arm up. Go down 3 big forward circles with your left arm, rotating the shoulder, and like you were swimming. And then after 3 in that direction, go in reverse. And then the last time, we'll keep that arm up, rotate your torso, but not your hips, maybe your eyes, head and neck to gaze up. Good, breathe here. Keep squeezing your inner left thigh and foot in towards the midline so you're not rolling into the outer edge of that left foot. Again, feel free to stay here. The last few breaths, we can try side plank. Roll into the outer edge of your right foot. You can step the left foot back halfway, lift your right hips up away from the floor, or try stacking the feet, whatever you did in the first side. Good breathing. Drum break. Good, and then back to regular plank pose or table pose. Inhale there, pull your chest forward as your elbows go back, slowly lower yourself down. Cobra pose again. Again, feel your upper back strength so you can even check out and see where you can lift just using the extension of the spine. Then place the hands down, press and come up a little bit more. Another breath or 2. Some of you like upward dog where your hips are off the ground. Good, and then back to downward facing dog. Take your time to get there. Modify as necessary. Always move within your pain-free range of motion. A couple breaths in downward dog. And then now let's walk the feet forward behind the wrists and come into a deep squat. Separate your feet a little bit, sink your hips down. Last week I said you could brush your teeth like this in the morning. Did anyone do it this week? Not one hand. One hand. How was it? Great, right? It's a good stretch for your back. Gets you ready to go to the bathroom. These are just facts of life, people. A couple breaths here. Good, and now we'll take this into a standing forward fold. You can keep your hands on the ground, you can grab opposite elbows, let your head and neck hang, breathe deeply here. Let a little bit of just the weight of your body bring the stretch along the back side of the body. Good, one more breath in and out. Release the hands if you're clasping something. Let your head and upper body and arms dangle as you slowly roll up to standing. And then once you're all the way up, come to the top of your mat. If you're there, feet about hip distance apart. Let's go ahead and lift your heels so you're balancing. Interlace the fingers, stretch the palms up here. If that's too much, keep the heels down. Otherwise, keep lifting your heels, keep the weight in the inner edge of the toes. Now firm your belly and squeeze your pelvis forward so you're not arching the back. Feel the lower abdominals engage. One more breath, reach up a little bit more. Try to squeeze more length out through your elbows. Now try a chair pose variation. Keep your heels lifted, reach your arms forward, sink your hips, bend your knees. Good, lift your spine. Good, one more breath here. And then now inhale, heels down, reach your arms up, look up. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, lift the chest a little bit here. And then exhale, step back into plank pose. Take a deep breath in here, and then as you exhale, elbows back, chest forward, slowly lower down the length of your breath. Take one of those back bends, the low cobra, higher cobra, or upward dog. Good, and then back into downward facing dog. Take a breath in here. Breath out to step that right foot forward all the way up. Help it if you need to get the toes in line with the fingertips. And walk your hands up the front thigh. Just take a moment, find your balance. Good, lift your torso up so you're balancing, and now squeeze both legs more towards straight. You can relax the arms or do whatever you like with them. And then we'll move down towards that low lunge, even forward so that front knee moves beyond the ankle, and then all the way back up. Try 4 more like that. This one, the left heel's off, pelvis, hips, shoulders forward. Go at your own pace. You can just go down a little bit, a few degrees, or all the way, trying to get that back knee down. 2 more. Good, now next time, let's bring your thigh parallel to the ground. So come down just about halfway, reach your arms up, grab your left wrist with your right hand, and take a side bend over towards your right. Feel a stretch in the left waist, rib cage, breathe here. Good, one more breath. Good, come back to the center. Hands down outside of both of the right foot. Stay here or try to balance on your right leg for warrior 3. We're gonna lean forward, so you're on the tippy toes of the left foot. Slowly squeeze your right leg straight. Lift the left foot up so it's the height of the hip. You can bring your hands to the hip for support. Out towards the side, or a little bit more challenging, arms forward. Good, slowly come out, hands down, step your left foot back. Good, return to the twisting lunge. Right arm up. Stay here, or return back to that side plank variation, 1, 2, or 3, or you can try like a tree pose in that side plank. Right foot to the left inner thigh. Good, back to the hands and knees or plank or top of the push-up. Take a breath in there. Good, exhale, lower down. Cobra pose, upward dog, breathing in. Good, and then back to downward facing dog, nice and slow. Take your time to get there. And then now change sides. Take a big step forward with your left foot. You can help the foot up so the toes are in line with the fingers. All the way up to standing. Take a moment, find your balance, gazing forward. And then moving down towards that low lunge. Again, if it feels good, front knee even moves beyond the ankle, and then slowly back up. So find a comfortable depth or range, moving in and out. And one more, moving dynamically. Lowering down, lifting back up. And then once you're back up, now just lower down about halfway. That front thigh is about parallel with the ground. Arms up. Now this time grab your right wrist with your left hand. Slowly start to find a lateral or side bend over towards your left and feel length across the right hip, waist, rib cage, armpit. Firm your belly here. We'll intensify the stretch across the front right hip. Good, breathing's now optional. Good, one more breath here. Slowly out of the side stretch, both hands down. Again, repeat that lunging twist, left arm up. You can stay there. Do that side plank variation, or even the last one we did. If you try on the other side like a tree pose, left foot to the inner right thigh. One more breath wherever you're at. And then we'll transition back to down dog however you like to get there. Take your time. If you want to do 5 push-ups, if you want to do child's pose, find the right pace for you. And then now let's step 1 foot forward and then rotate 90 degrees so that you're sideways on your mat. If you don't want to be sideways on your mat, you can just step off your mat so that you're facing forward as well, so your feet are in the grass. Good, and then feet at least 1 leg distance, if it's comfortable, a little bit wider. And we're slowly just going to rock over to one side, bending that knee and the hip. Walk your hands towards that foot, back through the center, and then start to transition over towards the other side. So right away you might notice, oh, this is too far of a distance or not enough. Adjust and move like this side to side a couple more times. Good, one more time each side. Good, and then after you've done both sides an even amount, come back to the center. Lift your chest as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, round your spine, so chin towards your chest. Start to look back and come into any variation of a wide-legged forward fold. You can have your hands, fingertips, palms on the ground. You can reach for the big toes or the ankles. Some of you like to reach your hands behind the back into extension and reach your arms up overhead. So take a variation here. Good breathing. Now to amplify, press your feet down. Press your feet down into the mat and even feel like you're trying to squeeze the legs together, but can't physically do that because the ground's there. One more breath in and out. Good, come up halfway, take a breath in, then we'll come all the way up as you breathe out. Squeeze the legs, firm your belly. Good, and let's heel toe the feet together. Good. Face forward if you turn sideways. And now let's try eagle pose, so balancing on one leg. You can start just by crossing your right thigh over the left. Very helpful to find a gazing point. Then softly bend into your left knee. Feel free to stay right here with the hands on the hips. Or with your right leg over, bring your right arm under, cross the arms, and try to grab either thumbs, wrists, or palms. Again, keep your gaze fixed, breathing smooth. You'll try to lift your elbows a little bit away from the ground and your forearms a little bit away from the face to feel more stretch in your upper back. Good, slowly unwind. If you're enjoying the music, a little clap. Good, and then other side. Start to transition your weight into the right side. Cross the left thigh over the right. Again, pick your gazing point, keep it there. Slowly bend into your right knee. Hands can stay at the hips. Or with the left leg over, now bring your left arm under. Lift your elbows away from the ground, forearms a little bit away from the face. Good, relax your jaw, ears, eyes. Breathing here. You could hear a pin drop. Good, slowly unwind. All right, and let's come back to the top of the mat. Now take a sun salutation on your own at your own breath pace, and we'll meet back in downward facing dog. If you're not sure what to do, just make it up. Good, and then once you're back in down dog, take a moment there. And then now let's walk the feet up behind the wrists again. Come into that deep squat, and then now bring your seat to the ground. See if you can do that, no hands. And then slowly lower all the way down. Now let's move in and out bridge pose a few times. For this one, we're going to keep our knees bent, arms down by your sides, feet close to your hips. We'll exhale here. Now as you inhale, curl your tailbone, your low back, your middle back. Reach your arms up overhead until you feel the weight on your shoulders at the top of the breath. And as you exhale, curl the spine back down from upper, middle, lower, sacrum, and hands come back down towards the ground. And then repeat that, curling up as you breathe in. So instead of just lifting the hips straight up, think of curling spine as you lift up and curling it back down as you breathe out. Try a couple more breaths flowing like that. Feel free to close your eyes. Great, and then now this next time your hips are up, we're gonna stay up for a few breaths. Press evenly into the inner and outer edges of your feet. Engage your glutes and work on extension of the hips by the strength of the glutes. So you're pressing your hips up towards the sky. Spread your fingers, breathing here. Good, one more breath like this. And then slowly curl from your upper spine, middle spine, lower spine until your hips and hands are back on the ground. Just take a resting breath or two. Good, then now from here, let's press your feet up towards the sky. If you can, try to stack your heels directly above your hips. So your hips are bent about 90 degrees. Then lift your arms away from the ground. Stretch your fingers forward. Now start to curl your head away from the ground. Stay right here. You should be able to look forward now, or lower your right leg almost all the way down. As you do that, point the right toes forward, pull your left toes back towards you, and try to squeeze a little bit more flexion out of that left hip. Good, breathing. It's more challenging, but breathe. Good, last breath here. Try to curl up a little bit more. And then lower your back down, lift your right leg up to meet the left. Take a quote-unquote resting breath here. If you did that challenge, lower now the left leg as you curl up. Change sides. Point your left toes forward, curl your right toes back towards you. Curl up, lift up, breathe here. Good. One more breath, curl up a little bit more. And then now, like an upside down child's pose, bend your knees. You can grab the thighs, knees, or the shins and roll side to side a few times. Or you can make some circles with the knees, whatever feels best for your low back. Great, and then now let's release the legs. Bring the feet back down to the ground, just like you were set up for bridge pose. Now, two options here. We'll either lift up into bridge with our hips, just like we did before, or you can interlace the fingers underneath the low back, kind of squeeze the shoulder blades together as you lift up, or some of you can try wheel pose. And I'll guide you through either one. So let's first all start lifting your hips. Feel free to stay here or clasp the hands. If you're trying the wheel pose, you're gonna bring your fingers pointing back down towards your feet, elbows bent just above the shoulders. Turn your fingers out a little bit so the elbows come in. Then lift up so you come up to the top of your head. Pause there, elbows in, and then slowly press the ground away from you as you lift up. Free yoga outside. We're upside down. Life is good. Good, hold as long as you like. And then slowly come back down. Good, take a little resting break. Sometimes it can feel good to bring your knees together, feet wide. Breathing in and breathing out. Now feel free to rest here another 5-6 breaths. Repeat that bridge variation, or maybe some of you want to repeat that upward bow. So I'll just give you a few moments to make your own choice about what feels right for you and your body today. Remember, it's not performative. Work within your own boundaries. You're breathing wherever you're at. then slowly lower back down. Take a few resting breaths if you weren't already. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. And then now, without using your hands, hug your knees in towards your chest. So much that even your hips and your sacrum roll away from the mat. Just to really engage the lower abdominal muscles, give a little stretch to the lower back. A little shaky is okay. Good, and then slowly release. Now remember, we did the eagle pose standing before. Now let's try it on our back. Start by bringing your right thigh over the left. Some of you might be able to bring the right foot behind the left ankle and shin. And then with your right leg over, bring your right arm under, cross the arms. Take a breath in here. Keep your knees stacked above your hips. Then slowly exhale, curl your torso up away from the ground. If it's hard, you're doing it right. Good breathing here. Try to get as much of your upper body and torso away from the ground without just drawing your knees towards your chest. 2 more breaths. Stay with it, last one. Good, slowly unwind the arms, keep the legs, and take us into a twist. So guide your legs over towards your left side. Right arm out into a T shape. Breathe here. One more breath in and out. Good, bring your hips back up, unwind the legs, and now we'll change sides. Left thigh over the right, maybe hook the foot. Now left arm under, take a breath in, breath out, curl up. Looking good. Keep breathing here. If you feel like you're dying, I also feel like I'm dying. 2 more breaths. Why are things that are hard beneficial? Last breath. Good, and then slowly unwind. Relax the arms out. Now take the twist with your knees over towards the opposite side. Left arm stretches out. Good breathing here. And exhale out your mouth again. Notice that if just by exhaling out the mouth you can relax, release a little bit more. Lift your knees away from the ground, unwind the legs, and then grab behind the thighs and try rocking and rolling a few times forward and back on the hips. Rock forward and back a few times if that feels okay for your spine. Good, and then let's rock all the way up to a seat. Now bring the soles of the feet together. Soles of the feet together. And how close or far away your hips are towards your heels will kind of be based on you. Then let's clasp the fingers around the feet if that's accessible. And then instead of rounding the spine, let's just take a moment, pull back on your arms so you lift your chest forward. Same time, pull the shoulders down. You want to focus on more of the stretch in the inner thighs and strengthen the outer legs. Actively press your outer knees down towards the ground. Lift your spine a little bit taller here. Great, and then now let's just cross, let's say your left leg in front of the right and sit in the easy pose or Sukhasana. Then rotate towards your left, right hand to the left knee. And with the opposite hand, reach around behind you and try to grab the inner thigh and rotate your torso and your gaze over towards the left. Take a breath in, sit up a little bit taller, breath out, rotate. One more like that. And slowly unwind. Switch the cross of your legs. Now left hand to the right knee, inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, now reach the right hand around. Maybe you can find the left inner thigh, or next week in class. Good, and then as you breathe in, sit up a little bit taller. As you breathe out, slowly rotate your torso, chin and gaze. One more breath here. Okay, and then unwind. And go ahead and stretch your legs out forward. Reach your arms forward. Now tuck your tailbone around your spine and try to lower vertebra by vertebra, the sacrum, your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, shoulders in the head. Take a breath in here. And then now go in reverse. Chin towards your chest. Slowly curl the spine up one at a time until you're all the way up to a seat. Now, instead of pressing the chest forward, keep your spine rounded as you slowly pull yourself forward into a forward bend. You can grab the shins, ankles, feet. Take 3 breaths here. Great, and then slowly release the torso away from the thighs and try that roll one more time, all the way down to your back, slow motion. And then land with your arms out by your sides, feet a little bit wider than your hips. You can shake or wiggle or do anything that feels right for you before we take a few minutes here to practice doing nothing. And then let's take about 4 or 5 slow, deep abdominal breaths. If you're familiar with that, we're just breathing into the belly, chest and rib cage barely move. Something that can be helpful is you can bend your elbows, place the hands on either side of the navel so you can feel that feedback of breathing into your hands. So go ahead and take about 4 or 5 slow, deep breaths into your belly so that when you do that, you can imagine like you're blowing up a balloon in the abdomen. You feel the breath move into the side ribs, your low back, even down into the hips. Exhaling, just letting the body go. Relax your right leg, left leg, right arm, left arm, jaw. Good, one more abdominal breath like that. Good, and then now release any effort with your breathing. Bring your awareness into the right leg. Completely relax the right leg. Bring your awareness into the left leg from hip to heel. Completely relax that side. Good, right arm from shoulder to wrist to fingers. Left arm from the shoulder to the wrist to the fingers, completely relaxed. And now just feel the whole body. Again, breath is just moving in and out without any conscious effort. Your practice being still and just observing. And then also just notice, does that come easily? Is that more challenging for you? Become aware of how you react. Letting go of effort both in the body as well as in the mind. And then let's take a breath in, a breath out. Start to bring some movement back to your fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. Rolling to a side. And then press yourself up to any comfortable seated position. We'll just sit for the last few moments. Rest your hands on your thighs, knees to your lap. Sit up nice and tall. Good. Either close your eyes or direct your gaze downwards and forwards. And just like we started, just simply become aware of how it feels to be in your body again. Notice any significant or subtle changes. Tune into your breathing, sensations, hearing sounds around you. Let's go ahead and guide the palms together in front of the heart, lifting the rib cage, bowing the chin inwards. Take a moment to thank yourself for creating the time and having the energy and the healthy body to be here this morning. And also remember, take whatever it is that you've gained, sharing that with others. Thank you so much for coming today. I hope everyone has a great day. That's it. All right, thanks so much to Carlo, Bob, and Fran. Weren't they amazing? It's nice to have live soundtrack. These guys are professional musicians, so if you liked what you heard, you can come talk to them as well. I teach yoga a little bit here in Chicago, as well as I do Thai massage, so a floor-based, Eastern-based massage practice. If you have any questions, feel free to come up. Otherwise, Pilates next, if you still have energy, or maybe I'll see you at brunch. See you. Have a good day.